today's video is going to be real interesting, at least it is to me. I went on a deep dive to find out the perfumes that some of the most iconic people, celebrities, artists, whatever you want to call them, have worn. And by the way, a lot of these perfumes that these celebrities wore are still available, that you can still purchase nowadays. Now in this video, I have a mix of icons and also like more mainstream celebrities. And there was something in the air from like the 1950s to the late 90s, even maybe slightly early 2000s. The icons that came out of that era are still so memorable today. That is when we had, I think, some of the best, most influential and just real artists, people that really left a mark. Think of people like Audrey Hepburn, Michael Jackson, Marilyn Monroe. These people that were so famous and left such a mark in their time that people do not stop talking about them even to this day. In my opinion, that is a true celebrity, not so much what we have nowadays. Not saying that people nowadays are not talented and whatnot, but there was something about those iconic people back then that is just not the same to what we have now. I get so worked up when people try to compare Michael Jackson to Taylor Swift. You're comparing a kitten to a lion. Anyways, I'm not trying to make this video controversial, but today I've gathered up a list of some very, very high profile people and what perfumes that they wore, starting from Audrey Hepburn, Marilyn Monroe, Michael Jackson, Princess Diana, these super, super iconic figures. And then I do have a little bit more like mainstream people as well. Before we get into it, I did just start an online handmade small business over on Etsy called Whimsy Willow, where I make little cute handmade keychains and bookmarks, and I'm going to be adding more to the shop, so stay tuned for that. My shop is linked in my Etsy shop, and you can follow me over on Instagram if you want to support me. I would love your support. So yeah, with that said, let's get into it. Let's start with Princess Diana. I love Princess Diana. She was inside one of the most traditional institutions in the world, but she always did things that felt more human instead of royal, and all these things made her super loved and relatable because she was surrounded by all this royalty, yet she always remained so humble and human. I remember seeing the video where she hugged the AIDS patients publicly, and people were like, oh my god, because they thought that you couldn't touch somebody with AIDS or you got it. But she was educated enough to know that that's not how it worked.
The opportunity is simple. HIV does not make people dangerous to know. So you can shake their hands and give them a hug. Heaven knows they need it.
She always broke royal protocol constantly, so I love that. She spoke super openly about her emotional state and things that she had gone through, which no royal ever did. She dressed in ways that felt modern and expressive, and she had her own individual style rather than just, again, what she might have been expected to wear. And she also was not just super into her looks. She focused on a lot of humanitarian work. All these things made her super relatable and just such a loved person. I feel like with Princess Diana's perfume, you think of princess, you think of royalty. She was obviously surrounded by that, and so you would think she would wear something super loud, glamorous, rich, and royal and all these things, but she actually wore a super delicate and gentle and soft perfume, which matched her aura perfectly. She actually wore Penhaligon's Bluebell perfume, which was a soft green floral perfume that smelled like an English garden. So just super soft and delicate and just super pretty, and I feel like this perfume matches her so well. And you can actually still purchase Bluebell today. It retails for around $210, and it's a super pretty soft green floral scent. Honestly, I'm kind of thinking about it because it's such an iconic fragrance, and it also just seems like a super pretty perfume in general. So I feel like I'm gonna probably add this to my perfume wish list. Speaking of Princess Diana, now, in more present days, we have Meghan Markle. I think Meghan Markle is stunning. I've seen some controversy surrounding her. I don't know why. I don't really deep dive into anybody's lives like that, so I don't know where the controversy, why she's a controversial figure at all. But I feel like it's so beautiful because the perfume that Meghan Markle wears is sort of seen to me as an ode to Princess Diana in a way. So obviously it was super known that she loved Bluebell from Penhaligon, and Meghan Markle is actually associated with Jo Malone's Bluebell, which is another soft, dewy bluebell floral scent. So the similarity in sense just feels really symbolic, even though Meghan Markle has never actually come out and said that it was an intentional choice. I feel like it is, and if so, I think that it's kind of a really beautiful ode to Princess Diana. Moving on to Marilyn Monroe, another iconic character. The perfume that Marilyn Monroe wore is a little bit more popular. Most people knew that she Givenchy was kind of the face of this perfume, and that is Chanel No. 5, which you can very much still get nowadays. I believe in an interview where she was asked what she wore to bed, which I feel like is a weird question to be asked, but I feel like back then when you watch interviews, people were asked the most insane questions that nobody needs to know. Like, so invasive. But anyway, in an interview where she was asked what she wore to bed, she answered by saying, quote, just a few drops of Chanel No. 5. And that one quote alone basically turned Chanel No. 5 into one of the most iconic perfumes in history that you could still very much wear today, and it's still an iconic perfume. Still such a huge fan base surrounding that perfume. Moving on to Audrey Hepburn. I adore Audrey Hepburn. I love Breakfast at Tiffany's. It's one of my favorite movies, and I love Audrey's perfume because it was literally made for her. And this perfume you can also very much get. I used to own this perfume. I have decluttered it. But Audrey wore Givenchy's L'Interdit, and L'Interdit was actually made for Audrey Hepburn. Hubert de Givenchy specifically made this perfume for Audrey before it was ever sold publicly. She was kind of the sole owner of L'Interdit. She loved L'Interdit so much that when Givenchy wanted to kind of release it to the public, she supposedly joked by saying, I'm totally gonna butcher this, but I will write it as well, and it's Je vous l'interdis, which means I forbid you. And that is how L'Interdit actually got its name, which is the forbidden, is from this supposed answer that Audrey had when Givenchy wanted to release the perfume to the public. I think that is so iconic, and I love the whole backstory of it, and that just makes me want to have L'Interdit back in my collection, to be honest. Next up, one of my favorite people ever, my close and personal friend, Michael Jackson. I love Michael Jackson. I have always loved Michael Jackson. I know everyone is loving him right now and just kind of reintroduced to him. I have always loved Michael Jackson, always supported him. I didn't believe none of the that the media said about him because it was all that. And now everybody's kind of finding that out for themselves as well. So it's like this whole thing and the craze with the Michael movie, which I did see and I loved it. I saw it twice in theaters and I want to see it again before it even leaves. But anyways, there are a few fragrances that he's rumored to wear. He loved fragrance, by the way, so we love that. But he was kind of known to love smelling more vintagey and powdery. One of the most famous perfumes, I guess, that he wore was Bal à Versailles, which is also a perfume that Elizabeth Taylor wore, who he was actually close friends with. And this was the kind of scent that was rich and powdery and had that vintage feel, and it was super strong, and it was known that every time he entered a room he would leave an amazing scent trail behind and just lingered in the room. But another perfume that he was rumored to wear is a perfume I recently got because I have been actually looking into this perfume for a while. It's an iconic fragrance, and he was also rumored to wear it, and that is Black Orchid from Tom Ford. I am in love with this. I cannot believe these words are coming out of my mouth because I have never been one to love Tom Ford scents. They've been a little too much for me, but I think, you know, my scent taste has evolved so much that now I find something like this so incredibly amazing, unique. It's like a masterpiece. The scent is a true masterpiece. It's also a little bit powdery, but there's so much more to this. I'm gonna do a whole dedicated review, which is probably already out on my channel, to this scent. I know it's been out for a while. It's not a new scent by any means, but it's definitely new to me, and I know my audience is probably gonna be shocked to hear that I got this. But yeah, this is another perfume that he was rumored to wear, along with some others, but I feel like Bal à Versailles and Tom Ford Black Orchid are kind of his two most, I would say, used perfumes. Now let's move on to some more celebrities that came out of the early 2000s and to present day. So first we have Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie would wear Black by Bulgari, especially in the early 2000s, which was a smoky, dark fragrance that smelled like tea, leather, and wood. And I feel like that scent definitely, especially in the early 2000s, really matched her vibe because she had that goth vampy sort of vibe going. Definitely fit her whole mysterious femme fatale dark feminine vibe she had in the early 2000s. I couldn't really find much info on which perfumes she wears now in recent times, but I feel like Black by Bulgari has very much been linked to her for a long time. Okay, next I wanted to throw this in there because I just thought the perfume that this guy wears is so funny, but we have Leonardo DiCaprio. Despite being one of the most famous actors of all time, Leonardo DiCaprio's perfume is Acqua di Gio from Armani, which honestly kind of feels on brand for him as a man that is permanently stuck in 1999. I was expecting some rare, rich, niche fragrance, but this man literally said, I'm gonna go to Ulta and get the most popular cologne they have. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm like roasting this man, although I don't think I have to worry about Leonardo DiCaprio watching this video, especially because, you know, I'm 27, so I'm a little old. All jokes aside, I just thought it was shocking because I was not expecting this perfume at all. Next, we have Johnny Depp. I love Johnny Depp. I love all the movies that Johnny Depp has made, and I love that he's an artist. I feel like a lot of people don't know that he loves to paint. They know Johnny Depp as the actor, but Johnny Depp is an incredible artist as well. But that aside, Johnny Depp, although he is obviously linked to Dior and the Dior Sauvage line because he's worked with them, he also was linked previously to wear Dior Eau Noir. So this was before all of the affiliation he had to Dior. And this fragrance was much darker, and it was a niche fragrance. It had licorice and lavender, and overall it was a little bit more artistic and eccentric, which definitely fits his vibe to a T. And it's definitely not giving Armani Acqua di Gio. I actually love Armani Acqua di Gio. I think it smells incredible, but is it the most basic cologne you can get of all time? Also, yes. Okay, next we have Rihanna. Now, I feel like we all know at this point that Rihanna was very much rumored to wear Love Don't Be Shy from Kilian. It became so internet famous about 5 or so years ago. I feel like this perfume really is what got me into perfumes like crazy, was when I was trying to find Kilian Love Don't Be Shy, and at the time, because it was discovered that she wore it, it was out of stock literally everywhere, and it stayed out of stock for months. I think even maybe up to a year, until I finally could get my hands on it, and I love it. It's a marshmallowy, powdery, sweet, ultra sweet scent, and there's been countless interviews of people that have been around Rihanna, and people are like, yeah, she literally smells incredible. So the internet went a little crazy when it came out to be Love Don't Be Shy that she wore, and obviously sold the scent out. Next we have Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga is rumored to wear Frederic Malle Portrait of a Lady, which is this really strong, intense gothic rose perfume, and it's known to just fill up a room. Like, strength is on another level, and this definitely matched up her very theatrical, dramatic persona really well. And then the last celebrity I thought I'd include here is the iconic, the beautiful Megan Fox. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't find one specific perfume that she wore, but I found out that Megan Fox is a layering queen. She loves to layer vanilla body oils to make her perfume smell warmer and softer and sweeter. People close to her describe her scent as being more so like a closer to the skin-like scent rather than something really overpowering. So that is it for the video. These are some iconic celebrities and the perfumes they were linked to wear or are still wearing. I want to make more of these with just more celebrities, more mainstream celebrities, more iconic celebrities, but I thought I'd just start it here and see how you guys like it. I just find this concept really fascinating because I always love what perfumes people wear. Perfume is such a personal thing, and I feel like perfume says so much about a person. Perfume and shoes. Shoes also tell a lot about a person. That is it for this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you want more of these. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and turn your post notifications on. And don't forget to follow Whimsy Willow and my personal Instagram account. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.